Oh, welcome. I hope all is well with you as it is with me on this day. I'm here to talk about why we should never get involved in the destruction of this world because we're in two different worlds. We have our world, they have their world. Hmm. We have our world, they have their world. And their world is deteriorating by the actions, and the decisions that have been made over what they call time, over the present. So basically, I want to give a little because what I'm talking about with these guys, what they did was good, but who they did it for was not good. They did it for white society, this world, which decided to and chose to live by the gun. So therefore, they got people in their society that don't want to live by the gun. They got people in their society that don't want to live the way they certain other people are. So they're in a fight. They're in a combat. We don't need to be in that combat. We don't need to be in that fight. It's not our fight. So they picked the wrong time. They picked the wrong time to black power up. This is white people. It was a lesbian woman, white woman, trans, who is frustrated and has psychological issues, obviously, that chose to go into a religious school and she killed white children. They need their savior to deal with that. They need their liberators to handle that, if they have any. For all this time, they never needed a liberator, not for living on earth, but in heaven. When the time comes for heaven, that's when they'll get liberated. But somehow, high IQ came up with that whole thing that there's a heaven for them after glory has rained upon them on the earth. But everybody else, even though they birthed crime into the world, they brought crime into the world. Somehow they have brainwashed people to think that me and my people are a certain kind of way. But I'm going to say to you today, don't ever get in a conversation and believe anything white people say. Don't believe anything that they say. Don't get into their conversation because the whole thing is it's tricky. See, what happened to these brothers is they got caught up in the everybody kumbaya syndrome. And they put that upon our people. Like all of a sudden it's us together when it benefits them. So now these brothers are having more racism than ever. I'm telling you, stay out of these people's fights. We don't have power. It's not our fight. You know what they're fighting over? What to do with us and who's going to control, who's going to be in power. You know what the whole Russia and China and all that stuff against America is? Who's going to be in control of us and the resources on the earth? Who's going to be the next superpower? We have no allies. We have no friends. These people are tricky, from the Asians to the white meat. They tricky and slick and clever and sneaky. You see, high IQ and the claim to be Egyptian, I'm going to give them that, because when you think about, it hasn't been that long ago. All this stuff that we've been told about, they put dates out there, right, to make us think, oh, that's been long ago. But what happened to Jesus wasn't too long ago. Actually, when you think about it, it wasn't that, it was in the time frame of these white folks when they were here. So it had to be at least go back to 6,000, 7,000 years, at the most 7,000. So they say they were the Egyptians. We now know that I know for a fact that we somehow have that connection, because we are the people, been, you know, told it so many times that that was us. The people that came over here, we were skillful, and the white people didn't bring us over here. We had skills. So, because Africa was developed, we were a superpower. We did trade between here and Africa. And different other places. So when they say that they were the Egyptians, believe they were the Egyptians, because how else did Egypt fall? Like all the other places we were at fell because of this devil, and their tricky ways. And they're up to their tricky ways as I speak. As I speak. Constant roll. And our people fall for it. Our people fall for these tricks. You know, the illusion of inclusion, and thinking something, man on earth cannot liberate us regardless. He can only liberate himself. He's a selfish man. They're selfish people. Any conversations we get into with them over these issues like transsexual or anything that impacts the America, basically whiteism, but they're not going to be thinking about whiteism at the time. But they're going to be thinking about the unfair and equal thing that's happening to them. And it's happening to them for a purpose. Because their high IQ selves made certain decisions that were not so high IQ. When you make certain decisions, but yet you want to call yourself high IQ, Everybody has a right to their opinion. But the fact is, nature says no, that is not high IQ. And it will come back and bite you on the butt. The degraded, degraded decisions that is made will bite you on the butt. It's all about energy. What you put out, you manifest. White man can't manifest. So he has to force us to manifest for him, for them. We manifest. But not knowing not knowing anything about ourselves puts us in a predicament, puts our people in a predicament where they believe everything, the hand that feeds them, the hand that feeds them, the hand that rocks the cradle, right? The crook, the crook. So they have to deal with the crook, the criminal, the 48-hour hand, the father and mother of crime. So that's why I said don't get into their conversations over what's going on in the United States because it's not for us. The fight is not our battle. What we need to be doing is we need to get ourselves together because we're going to come out victorious out of everything that's going on, out of everything that's going on. We'll be the victorious one. As long as we don't participate, there's going to be many of our people that, you know, are in that delusion, that are disillusioned in this place, that are going to fall for that and have fallen for it, and they think they're in the fight. You know, the nerve. You would think that they would be in high IQ and not went over to Africa talking about human rights. If they were so high IQ, that decision to go and talk about human rights to anybody else overseas, that train has sailed. That ship has sailed and gone. It's gone, never returning. But they tried to do it. They tried to do it. Hmm. And you see, we've been marginalized, stereotyped, treated like less than human, and everything under the sun, you name it. It has not gone unnoticed. None of it. The people who have passed away due to the crimes they committed, they now know. They now know what it's all about because the whole universe is conscious. The earth is conscious. The people are becoming conscious. The universe is conscious. And the conscious of those who have passed away, they have become a force to be reckoned with. So therefore, we should be on that side of the soul's side of this fight, because they are fighting. People don't pay attention to things around them. That's why I said I think the entities for being the terrorists to the terrorists that terrorize my world. Because we are terrorized. We are terrorized. And that we go unnoticed by these people. But they can go over, take our money, and go over and have the audacity to talk about human rights to some other people. Human rights. The audacity. The same woman that says, no, I can't do anything for black people. But all of a sudden she's black. Being the first Indian vice president, but now all of a sudden she's African American black. And people cheerlead that on. Like they cheerleaded Obama, and I got into that, got talked into putting a late ballot in to vote for him. I was not, didn't have my eyes open. Now I see. Now I see clearly. But I always had a hunch, something, like on the hair of your neck, telling you there's something, there's something, there's something. And now I see. I see that it is, like I said the other day on my video. I said on the last video I did, I said that this was man versus the unknown, unseen world, which is our spiritual place. The ones they call the devil is going to rise and come the devil for real. But only to those who are devilish, of course. Only to the devilish. Only to the devilish. Hey, young Cherokee PZ, I haven't seen you in a minute. Thank you for being here. But let me show y'all real quick the picture. This is the result of thinking you kumbaya and speaking out of turn, but speaking good. These are good brothers. But they spoke out of turn, this was not the time to fight for us. This wasn't the moment. This was not our moment. So this is what happened to them. This is what they're going to get. The white woman gets off scot-free. Our brothers get expelled, right? The brothers get expelled. You see how that works? Y'all see how that works? You're always going to take a nail. We're always going to take a nail unless we get in touch with our inner and don't focus on this outer when it comes to the war part. Now we have to focus, and we deserve, you deserve, you're living and fighting for the ancestors, for those that have passed due to the turmoil, the warriors that have died and passed due to the turmoil they have lived in. We do, and they're trying to see that we live out our experience better, better than before. So they're in the fight, and we have to do our part. We have to build. We have to become again like we used to be, like we used to be. Because everywhere we went, they tore down. Like the Bible says, you build and I will tear down. That's high IQ Egyptians. They destroyed Egypt. But the same things that are going on, it mirrors the same thing that's going on now. This is Egypt all over again. Once I saw the shisha and the women belly dancers and the gay trans, this is Egypt all over again. Bondage. It's not Kemet. It's not Nile Valley. It's not the purity of the land. It's Egypt. Shisha, drugs, alcohol, murder, killing, fighting, sex. It's all that stuff that comes with these people. And with that said, true love, real peace, the higher self within the soul. Till next time, thank you, Young Cherokee PC, again for being here, and whoever else is in the clouds. Peace and happiness. Till next time.